What's up, guys? Hunter Frontier back at it again with another video. And in this video, guys, we're gonna be talking about Megaton cards that you definitely should be picking up before it's too late. And of course, the Megatons came out pretty recently, and again, a lot of controversy in terms of why did they reprint this as a Starlight Rare. But at the end of the day, reprints are good for the player base as a whole. And I'm going to tell you guys about some of mine that I think are the best out of the tins and some that you should definitely be buying before it's too late. So this is in no particular order, but again, if I miss any or you guys have an opinion on the ones that I do pick, let me know down below. But of course, let's get started with this one, and we're going to start off with Duel Link Dragon, the Dual Dragon. Now, if you're not even a huge 5Ds person, I would say honestly, this is a must to pick up, regardless, because it was a prize card, and this is the first reprint of that prize card. And as a Starlight Rare too, it has a lot of potential going up. I mean, now as a 5Ds lover like me, I would want to have as many copies as possible for my collection. I probably would have a whole binder full of these, or I would at least try to fill out a page just to kind of have some nice shiny dragons in my binder. But again, that's just for me though. Everyone's different. And again, for about 50 cents, not bad. I paid about $2-3 for the Gamer's Choice pre-sales. I wasn't too sure how this card would go, so it is very low right now, but over time definitely this card can go up in price. It being the only reprint, I don't know if they're gonna make more for this version, of course. So really cool card, and again, for under $1, you can't beat that price. Next up, we have Chaos Sorcerer, and this is a high must, of course, if you're playing GOAT format too. This card is a little under $3, but again, with shipping and everything, goes a little bit above. And again, for GOAT format, it's amazing to have this card in a Starlight Rare version. And just first of all, it's a nice reprint, and the rarity too is pretty nice with it. So I think that if you are playing older format decks, this would be a great addition to it. And you might want to buy this sooner rather than later, because again, people have been seeking this out. And give it a week or two, and this card will easily be up to like $7-8 and even more, over time. So consider doing that. Of course, if you are planning to play GOAT this format or any format, because it's GOAT format. Next up, we do have the Bystial cards. We have Bystial Baldrake. We of course have Drius Worm, and we do have Magnum. So I wouldn't say buy these just because there are cheaper copies. There are. You guys can just buy the get the common, right? You can get the super rares. But I will say that when it comes to picking these cards up, you might as well go ahead and get them in high rarity version, which is the Starlight Rare version, because at the time before these reprints, this was about the price for them, right? Or they were a little higher. So at that point, what I say is, like, if like an Ultra and a Secret are about the same price, just go and get the Secret. Even if the Secret's maybe like 10 or 20 cents more, it's just better long term to have them. Regardless, I mean, hey, you might not be someone who wants to bling out their deck, but the difference is very, very little. You might as well just go ahead and do that rarity upgrade just for yourself, or put it in the binder, and who knows, you'll kind of just dig into it and be like, oh, I wasn't using this card. How much is it? Wow, $20? That's crazy. Well, we go ahead and just flip it. It's just great to have, and I think that as any Yu-Gi-Oh player, if you're playing in this meta, whether you're playing Rogue, if you want to play a meta deck, it's just great to have the Bystial cards. They're such an excellent addition, or I guess you would say toxic to some people, but it's a great addition to the game. So having that in the highest rarity version, you can't beat that. So I would say grab all three. Again, if you don't want to just buy the highest rarity, there are cheaper options, of course, just outside of the Megatons. Then moving on, we have Queen of the Blazing Domain. And honestly, I want to pick this up as well, but I kind of wanted to just wait and see how it's going to just go. And I think it's about the same in terms of Gamer Choice pre-sales, but I will say this has a lot of potential, and grabbing 3 copies now would be a great idea. And this one's a little bit more of like I don't know if it's going to go up sooner rather than later, because of its, it being new. It's a new premier card for the Megatons and for TCG players, of course. So I would say that, you kind of have to either just buy it now or just kind of wait. But a lot of people do have a lot of quantities of this, so I will say that, it's kind of up in the air how people will use this. There's so many useful cards, of course, in the meta. But personally, for me, I'm picking up 3 copies for myself just to have, because you never know. Moving on, though, we do have Pot of Greed, and, we now know what it does, guys. It lets you draw 2 cards off the bat, okay? So that solution is solved. But having this Starlight Rare is cool. Second of all, the fact that they have the pot collection, and I thought, wow, they were gonna reprint this in this rarity, but here you go. Gamer's Choice pre-sales were about $10. This is now about $5, almost $6. And for a card that's very iconic, good for Go format, of course, you might as well go ahead and just pick up this version. Now, I was talking with a friend, and when I was talking about versions of like Pot of Greed, I don't have like a good copy. That's why I wanted to get a Starlight Rare version of this. They were saying that, you know, there was a nice Ultimate version, which I think is from the Kaiba. It was a side set for Kaiba. It was like when they were doing those character sets, and that Ultimate Rare version is very nice. Now, for me, again, I didn't have that, so I was like, all right, let me just go ahead and pick up the Starlight Rare, which is very cool. And I actually got my Gamer's Choice pre-sales right now, actually, like today. I guess the video was yesterday, but really cool. I was able to grab a copy of this. So again, it's up to you if you want to have it for your binder, older, format deck, whatever you guys want to do. Go ahead and just pick up a copy before it goes a little more in price. And then we have Fiendsmith Tract. You guys already know this is the long expected reprint, and finally it got reprinted. And if you don't have your copies, you guys really should grab 2 to 3 copies, so then you're good to go. It depends on the deck you're playing, how many engines you're playing in the deck. People can either play this at 2, some people like to max it at 3, but again, it's all preference. It's up to you which way you want to go with that. Moving on, the Black Goat Laughs, and this is again a highly sought out card for these tins. It's a great reprint. This card does so much in the meta, and grabbing 3 copies is just great to have for later decks if you want to play again Rogue, meta. It's just an excellent card all around. So it's something you really do want to buy, because you can easily see this card going up in the next few weeks, back to like 15, 20 bucks, and even maybe hitting highs of like 25 to 30 bucks. So something you kind of just want to be notified on. I want to notify you guys on before, like, wow, what happened? Oh, damn, I didn't pick this card up. Like, should have picked it up when it was low. So this is now the chance to do so. Next up, we do have Infinite Impermanence. Now, I wouldn't say particularly, right, if you don't have this card, maybe if you'd like to try high rarity, right, depending on how you feel about that, because when it comes to this card, it's very volatile, right? We have the Quarter Century Secret Rare version, and now people are like, which one do we value most, right? On the other hand, though, Infinite Impermanence as a card itself, with all the different copies it has, it does better than Ash in terms of going up in price, in terms of keeping that consistent like stability of price. So now you have a shiny version. It's a more modern copy. I think that for 18 bucks, it's not the worst, but again, it's up to you what you want to do. If you're a person who likes to bling out their deck, you don't care, then go ahead and just pick up 3 copies. Will this go further down? I'm not too sure. Pre-sales were a little high on this. They were about 30, 35 bucks. So this is half the price. And, personally, if you are just getting in the game and you want your Infinite Impermanences, this would be the time to grab them. I think for someone who already has several copies of Infinite Impermanence, like commons, supers, and all that, at that point, I would just wait. Like for me, I wouldn't get this. But if you're someone new and you just want to kind of max, rarity your deck, or just, splash it a little bit, this is a nice entry point into the game, especially with the tins. So I would say go ahead and just grab 3. If not, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. There are several different copies that you guys could pick up for way cheaper too. Next up, we do have Dominus Impulse and of course Dominus Purge, and these two are the top 2 cards to grab from these tins, because again, just like the Black Goat Laughs, it's just a great reprint, and I think that people are gonna kind of underestimate this a little bit, just how accessible these cards are right now. And of course, you can just rant on the tin and say how bad they are. They're very bad here and there, but you want to grab the good reprints, right? If you don't have these cards, go ahead and grab them. If you already have them, you didn't sell them, just keep those copies. But this is a great entry point for people who, again, are getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! Or they're just kind of like, now's the time to kind of put more money into it, because these tins have produced these reprints that are fairly cheap, and it's time to kind of just go ahead and get in on that, right? So now you're kind of up to date for the next meta, sort of, until they make new cards that are just even crazier. That's how the game goes. But anyway, we have Polaria, and again, a great chance to grab this card. Now, if you could potentially trade for it, or at that point you want to bite the bullet and just buy it, you can do so. I think that, if you have the other Mulcharmy cards, you're kind of good to go, to be honest, right? Because there's the other Mulcharmy card that's getting a reprint in November for the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds collection, which is very hyped. Cannot wait for that. So other than that, though, Polaria, it was really expensive, and then of course with the reprint announcement, it did go down. Other than that, but once you grab like 3 copies of this, you're pretty much good, right? Because Warlords also got reprinted pretty recently in the last rarity collection, so that's, you know, something to know as well. So do you really need this card? It's up to you, but it's a great card to have, and again, spread out through multiple meta decks. People are running this card almost aggressively, so keep that in mind. Next up, we have Metamorphosis, and great reprint as an ultra rare too. Amazing. You know, a long time ago, it really only had common copies, and they were like very expensive. So if you, again, playing Go ahead and grab some copies of this. I would even grab a few more just to have for different Go format decks. Moving on, we have Bottomless Trap Hole, another great reprint for like Edison format, and very cheap as well. It was about $5 per copy, I believe, or no, it was about 3, so it's around the same price here, but great to have if you guys do not have a copy of this. We have Retaliating Sea, and it's great to see this in Starlight Rare, but also just, I feel like, you know, we haven't had too much of a Retaliating Sea format, but grabbing this in high rarity when, again, the price is very low, doesn't really cost you much, and it's great to just have in your arsenal. Again, compared to just grabbing a common or a super, you can grab the Retaliating Sea for about 50 cents to $1 more. Not a bad upgrade. Harvey's Feather Duster, and of course you have Regaki in the Old Arts. Not bad pickups, again, if you don't already own these 2 cards. It's great to pick up. If you're like, do I really need it? Then if you're justifying it, then you don't really need it. But if you already you don't have it, then you might as well go ahead and pick up these versions. You have Rescue Ace Hydrant here, and you know, this card itself has always had a history of just kind of just going crazy eventually. So if Rescue Ace, you know, ever came back as a deck, I think that this card would definitely be bought out. And for under $1, you could really grab realistically a few copies of this, and maybe grab, you know, I don't know, maybe like all those copies, and then have it on the side. Who knows? It could be a little like mini stock thing, you know. And then if it goes up, you guys can just go ahead and flip. But that's up to you. I mean, if not, you can always just really upgrade your hydrants, and not bad. You're good to go that way. And then we did talk about Duel Dragon. But again, like I said, this is a really great card, and I think that, you know, definitely don't underestimate it. The fact that they made this, again, a prize card, because now they're starting to do that as well. There's also 5Ds really good. Just pick it up. Just pick it up. And then last but not least, we have Starlight Road, again, for the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Air lovers, of course. Great to see this in Starlight Rare, and again, a Starlight Road in Starlight Rare. Like, you really can't beat that. It's really nice, though. So I grabbed a copy just for the collection. But other than that, though, guys, these are the ones that I think are the best to grab from the Megatons. If you guys agree, let me know down below, of course. But guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you guys liked the video, make sure to give it a huge like, comment down below your thoughts, and of course, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn notification bell on so you can update the next time I upload new videos. Alright guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Hope you have a good rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.